Welcome back. Simon's in charge of lunch again today.
And this time we have gone vegetarian. Simon is going vegetarian and going to show us how to do a ricotta cannelloni.
And you said it's Welsh.
It is originally indigenous Welsh dish. No, it's not. I'm lying. So yeah, this is a vegetarian dish, but we can put some meat in there, and we will show you how to do that. So, 2 pans on the go. We're going to make a homemade little tomato sauce, and we're going to make the filling for our cannelloni. Cannelloni are these bad boys here. These pasta tubes. Okay. Not easy to find. Thanks to Laura for finding some for me last night. Now,
you're welcome.
To start with the filling, we have 450 grams of raw spinach. Now, you're going to think, we can't do it in real time, but I want to show you the quantities because you're going to think, Mother God, that's a lot of spinach. And it is. But what you do with the spinach is do it in a pot with a lid on it. Little drop of olive oil, little drop of water, because we want to create a little bit of steam in there with the lid on.
Okay.
And we're just going to wilt that spinach down. Takes about 5 minutes. Okay, leave the lid on, give it a bit of a shake, it'll wilt down.
Low heat?
Low heat. When you're finished with the spinach, I want you to get a nice clean piece of muslin or a clean tea towel, pop it onto a bowl like that, and all you do is you empty the spinach into that, then wrap the spinach up, and you're going to squeeze all that excess water out of the spinach.
Oh.
Now, you might think that's a lot of spinach, but that 450 grams comes down to that.
It's a little ball, really.
One little ball.
Yeah, it's one little ball. And that's what we need for this recipe. So when you have it squeezed out, all the excess water is gone, set it aside, let it cool.
And why are you, stupid question alert, squeezing out the spinach? Do you not want water because it'll
because the mixture will be too
pasta
runny and we won't be able
damp?
to pipe it properly into the cannelloni. In this tray, we are going to do our homemade tomato sauce. So, pan on a low heat, little drop of olive oil, and I have 1 shallot and 1 clove of garlic that are finely chopped. And again, in real time, we give this about 4 or 5 minutes. We don't want to colour these. You don't want to burn the garlic. That's why it's on a low heat. So just soften them, let them release their essential oils. About 4 or 5 minutes in there.
Okay.
Into that then, this is such a great little sauce as well.
So this could go over bolognese or anything?
Absolutely. We use a 700 gram jar of passata, which is basically just a pureed tomato. So in that goes. This is also a great sauce if you're making homemade pizzas.
Oh,
With
to
the base.
spread it.
And you've made your dough, this is your sauce. Okay? So we have our passata, our shallot, and our garlic. Now, when you use passata, they can sometimes be a little bit sharp, a little bit tart, the taste. So you'll see most Italian nonnas, when they make a red sauce or a ragu sauce like this, they will, as well as adding in a pinch of salt and pepper, they'll put in a nice pinch of sugar.
Yes.
Just to balance out.
Sweeten it up a little?
Yeah, just to
Take the
balance
sting
out
out
the
of it.
sharpness.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be too sharp. Now, we've got a lot of help in this dish in terms of we've lovely creamy ricotta, etc. But just to balance the sauce out.
And it's a good point you're making, Simon, about the sugar, because if you put too much in, it actually ruins the dish
it does
as well.
ruin it. Just a pinch, just a little pinch. And all you want to do is just cook that out for about 10, 15 minutes. I brought in my friend John Cleese, otherwise known as...
Basil?
Thank you. You got it. Well done. So I want a handful of basil. This is one of these herbs that you don't chop when you're putting it into a recipe. And I've heard chefs talking about this before because it bruises the herb. So you want to just lightly tear the basil into it. If you bruise the herb, it damages it and it's not going to give it its full flavour, full potential.
Smell of basil has to be one of my favourite.
Oh, it's gorgeous. So all you want to do is a handful of basil, just tear it up. Don't be precious about too big or too small. What you want to do is just get the flavour in there. The smell of that, can you get it from over there?
You're putting a good lot in, are you?
Yeah, good handful. Good handful. You can buy those plants at any little supermarket. Just put them on the windowsill, feed them a bit of water, as my wife does, and you've got herbs.
And name it.
So all you do is you add your herbs in and you cook that out for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
You said low heat, is it?
Low heat. Knock it off and let it cool down. That's the sauce done, okay?
That's
so
the smell we're getting here.
Yeah.
I know, it's fab, isn't it?
So
It's
fresh.
so fresh and
Yeah.
So
strong.
to make the filling, I want to show you how to make the filling and then how to assemble the dish, and then we can eat. So our aforementioned spinach, that's 450 grams of spinach down to nothing. All we're going to do is we want to chop this. Now, you want to chop this finely, so you want to be a bit aggressive. The safest way to do it, get your hand on top of the knife and just chop it through like that. So there's no fingers in the way, nothing can get hurt. Rather than trying to do it like this, get your hand across the top of the knife and run your hand right through it. Now, you might think, I'm not chopping it. It doesn't look like it's chopping it. It is. And you want to make this as fine as you can because it's going to make it easier to pipe into the filling,
That's
into
real
the
chef's
cannelloni.
chop.
OK, I'll throw
That's
in
a
a
chef's
stupid
chop.
question
Go
at this
for it.
moment then. Did you let that cool in order to make the chop?
Absolutely. And in fact, when you put it into the bowl, Aidan, into the tea towel to squeeze it, let it cool before you squeeze it, because that water is going to be hot.
Okay.
So take it out of the pan, leave it sit in the tea towel,
don't
and let it cool. So our spinach goes in to the bowl. And then this is also a great filling, lads, you can use if you're brave enough to make your own ravioli, which I'm not.
Why
it's
did
a
you
great
choose
filling.
ricotta? Because
It's
an
nice and
interesting one.
creamy. It's I wouldn't describe it as a bland cheese. Like, it's not a very strong cheese.
So it's
but
not a cream
creamy.
cheese like we'd know in the tub.
No, there's a light flavour from it. It's very milky. So I want 450 grams of ricotta in there with our spinach. On top of that then, as Charlo the chef would say, we're going to spike it. We're going to spike it with a pinch of nutmeg, just a pinch.
Okay.
Then we're going to add in a couple of handfuls of grated Parmesan.
Lovely.
And again, you can see why this will make a good ravioli filling as well. We're going to finish that then with 1 egg. And we crack that in.
Yeah. And fresh Parmesan, because you know you can buy the kind of fake one in the shaker.
Fresh
It's just not
Parmesan's the
same,
only way
is
to
it?
go. Just grate it yourself. Now, all you want to do then is mix it through.
Okay.
And that's all we're doing. You don't want to be too fussy, but you want to get the ingredients thoroughly combined. So it just takes a couple of minutes. And I wanted to do this because I want to show you then how to pipe the cannelloni
That's
tubes
the tricky
themselves.
part, is it?
Do you know what? It can be. It's one of those things. It's like cooking fish, Laura. Everybody's afraid of it. I'm afraid of it. But once you give it a go, and if you know a couple of little handy tips, makes the job an awful lot easier. And I'm going to show you the best tip I ever got. Got this on MasterChef, how to fill a piping bag. Because if you're holding a piping bag and you're trying to, it's a disaster.
It is messy.
Get yourself a measuring jug or a pint glass. Remember them?
Yes.
Put the piping bag into the glass, wrap it round the edges, and then you've got 2 free hands.
That is ingenious, because I just started
you know what I
piping
mean?
a couple of weeks ago, and
And
it's a disaster.
It ends up all over you. And you've got 2 free hands here.
That's
and you
so
can
clever.
fill your piping bag right up to the top. Don't think you've got to get all that in there in the one go. Take your time. So then all you do, take your piping bag off, twist it at the top, keep it in there because some will come out at the end.
Sure.
And then take your piping bag
Minimum mess.
and we come over here to our cannelloni. And all you want to do is fill half of it. So in you go, fill half of it, turn it around,
That looks very satisfying.
and fill the other half. Do you know what, Aidan? It's one of those kitchen jobs that is very satisfying. I'll show you again. Just fill half of it, spin it around.
Quite therapeutic watching you do that.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Put on
So,
the calming music.
to assemble the dish, because I want to get through this, all you do is you get your little baking tray.
Okay.
Just put a spoon of your sauce on the bottom.
So are you layering this then?
I'm putting the sauce here basically, Laura, to hold the cannelloni in
Okay.
place. So a layer of that on the bottom. Then all we're going to do is we're going to take our cannelloni and you're going to line them up. Now my recipe calls for 12 cannelloni. Don't panic. You can use 10, you can use 14,
Are they
whatever you have in
filling,
the
and how
cupboard.
many would you serve to somebody?
12. This will easily serve 2 people, if not 4 people.
Okay.
4 people with on a light lunch,
Yeah.
Laura. So just get your cannelloni tubes in there. Nice and simple. All we're going to do then is top that with our tomato sauce. You can take your time at home when you're doing this. Somebody's screaming in my ear, so I'm not taking my time. So get your tomato sauce in there. Just cover the cannelloni. You can have a little bit more finesse when you're doing this at home. Last ingredients, buffalo mozzarella. The balls of buffalo mozzarella you buy. Slice them up and just pop them across the top of your sauce.
You
Just
made it
layer
look so
that out.
simple, Simon. It just
Well,
looks delicious.
Well,
Yeah, I wish it was. Now, finish it off then with a bit of grated Parmesan. You're going to preheat your oven to 180 degrees and you're going to cook that with a bit of tin foil on the top, just
Okay,
to
so
stop
you're
it
covering
burning,
it.
for 30 minutes. Then take the tin foil off for another 10 minutes and hopefully...
to get that nice crisp on top.
Exactly. It should be a nice little bit of colour. And look at this.
So 30 minutes. What was the oven
30
temp
minutes
again?
at 180, Laura. And then you
Tin foil
want-
off for the last 10.
Yeah. So
Do you want a hand?
No, I'm going to get another little cloth here. I'm just going to lift it over. And you might portion it out, would you, Laura?
Yeah. Well, there's only one plate, so
I'm going to give you the
portion for
glamorous
one.
job. Now, and there is
Oh, that looks
gorgeous
incredible.
spinach and ricotta. Now, by the way, if you wanted to make that a meat dish,
Yes.
when you're making your ragu sauce, put your onion and your shallot in add a pound of beef mince, brown the mince off, and then your tomato.
Oh, look at that.
And you've got a meat ragu.
And you're just back to the same method then.
Exactly.
Oh,
so you
there's
can see
loads
the
in
filling.
there.
There is. You'd easily feed 4 people from that.
That looks
Or me and you,
incredible.
Laura.
We look forward to digging in. Someone's hitting the forks.
So there you go. That's the vegetarian
Well
dish.
done.
If you'd like to copy Simon, full
Pleasure.
recipe details are up on our website. That's virginmediatelevision.ie/Ireland AM. Thank you, chef. This looks
Pleasure.
delicious.
Absolute pleasure.